In the following clip, a family's home security camera captures something they never expected involving their young son, who is autistic and extremely sensitive to changes in his environment. His parents explain that he's very routine-oriented and easily distressed by anything being out of place, especially at night. One night, while the entire household was asleep, they suddenly heard their son screaming in terror. Watch.
Mom, the elf has a man at the door! Help!
Imagine waking up around 1 a.m. to your autistic son crying, insisting that the elf on the shelf had moved on its own. For those unfamiliar, Elf on the Shelf is a popular holiday tradition where parents move a small elf figurine around the house each night to make it appear as though it's watching children's behavior for Santa. The rule is simple: the elf only moves when no one is watching. But in this case, no one was touching it when it moved. What makes this more unsettling is that the child was genuinely terrified, not confused or playful. Some viewers believe the stress of the tradition itself can cause children, especially those with sensory sensitivities, to panic when something appears different. Others point out that Elf on the Shelf has long been tied to darker folklore: small watching figures, silent observers, and objects believed to invite unwanted attention into a home. A few even argue that objects meant to watch children, even symbolically, can create fear-based expectations that manifest in disturbing ways. Whether this was a misunderstanding, a moment of heightened fear, or something far more unsettling, one thing is certain: the family hasn't been able to look at that elf the same way since. But what do you think happened here? Now, this next clip is an update from a previous video about a family who went to check out an apartment they were considering renting. At first, everything seemed normal, until just minutes after stepping inside, an unidentified voice was suddenly heard whispering the word Jadis. At the time, many viewers believed it could have been interference, audio distortion, or even someone outside the apartment. But something about the voice didn't sit right. After that video gained attention, the woman went back through the footage she recorded inside the apartment, and that's when she noticed something else she completely missed before. Watch closely.
Oh my god.
Just like the previous video, another voice can be heard. This time, some people swear they hear it saying, "Don't buy," almost like a warning. Others hear what sounds like a young boy softly saying, "Hello, Mum," while a different group of viewers are convinced the voice is saying, "Grandpa." What makes this unsettling is how common whispers are in reports tied to supposedly empty homes. Paranormal researchers often say whispered voices are one of the earliest signs of a presence, especially in places with emotional residue, homes where someone may have lived, passed away, or never fully moved on. Unlike loud noises, whispers are believed to be intentional, subtle, and directed, meant to be heard by specific people rather than caught accidentally. The first clip left many viewers deeply concerned, questioning whether the family went through with renting the apartment. But later, she confirmed that they didn't. And judging by what was captured on camera, many believe that decision may have spared them from something far more unsettling, whether the voices were warning them away or trying to make contact. This apartment clearly isn't as empty as it appears. In this next video, a woman who's been experiencing strange activity in her home finally manages to capture something on camera. For a while now, she's claimed to see dark figures appearing briefly in different parts of the house, always just out of full view, always gone the moment she looks directly at them. One evening, while she was home alone, she stepped out of her bathroom and noticed something unusual. Watch closely.
I hear a woman humming. What the hell? Hold on. Where is that coming from? Look, Xavier. hears it too. You heard it too, huh?
As she walks out of the bathroom, she catches sight of something black moving. At first, she assumes it's just a shadow or her eyes adjusting to the lighting, but when she turns her head, the shape is still there, a dark, human-like figure peeping before vanishing moments later. Many viewers believe this could be what's commonly referred to as a shadow figure, entities often described as pitch-black silhouettes that appear briefly and disappear without a trace. Others think it could be tied to stress, fatigue, or the brain misinterpreting familiar spaces, especially when someone is alone and alert. But some point out that seeing a figure clearly enough to turn and face it suggests something more than imagination. Whether this was a shadow entity, residual energy, or something her mind can't explain yet, one thing is certain: whatever she saw felt real enough to leave her shaken. But Stego, you think she's dealing with? Now, in this next clip, a family is dealing with the terrifying consequences of opening their door to something knocking in the middle of the night. At first, they thought it was just a mistake, maybe a neighbor, maybe kids playing a prank, but ever since that moment, their nights have been anything but normal. Sleep has become nearly impossible. Objects shift around the house on their own, voices are heard when no one else is awake, and the knocking never truly stops. It only moves, echoing from different parts of the home. Watch this.
Voy a ir a ver, güey.
Sí, sí, ve.
Ya estoy grabando, ¿eh?
Sí, ya. Con cuidado, el palo, el tubo, ¿cómo está?
No mames, pero está tocando bien de güey. Aquí está, aquí está, aquí. A la máquina, güey. Márcala a la policía, güey. Sí. A la madre. A su verga, güey. A la verga. ¡Ey! ¡Ey!
Ábreme, hijo de tu puta madre.
¿Qué quieres?
Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre.
¿Quién eres?
Soy el que andas buscando. ¿O que me querías ver? Aquí estoy. Ábreme.
La sangre de Cristo tiene poder.
Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre.
¿Qué eres?
Soy el que tú quieres ver, cabrón. Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre.
¿Por qué estás molestando aquí? Aquí no hay nada. Y ahí le llamé a la patrulla, ¿eh?
Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre. Querías verme, pues aquí estoy.
Pues entra a ver.
Ya estoy adentro de tu casa. Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre.
Lárgate a chingar a tu madre de aquí. Ya le hablé a la patrulla, ¿eh?
Ábreme, hijo de tu pinche madre. Ya estoy ahí adentro de tu casa.
Ya viene la patrulla, nada más te aviso, ¿eh? Lárgate de aquí. Lárgate. ¿Ya le abriste a la patrulla?
What makes this moment especially unsettling is that whatever is inside the house doesn't just knock anymore. This time, it responds. Paranormal researchers often warn that responding to unknown knocking or voices at night is one of the worst things you can do. Many believe it's an invitation, an acknowledgement that gives whatever is outside permission to cross a boundary. In this case, it seems whatever entered that night may be growing stronger, or worse, drawing in other presences. Some believe one spirit can act like a doorway, inviting others to follow. And judging by how the activity has escalated, this family may no longer be dealing with just one thing. But until we receive more updates from the family, this remains unsolved. The following clip was recorded by a team of paranormal investigators who entered a house already known for intense activity. From the moment they stepped inside, they said the atmosphere felt heavy, almost oppressive, like they were being watched. In a previous video we shared about this same location, their first instinct was to pray, something many believe can provoke or expose darker entities rather than calm them, and in that case, the prayers seemed to force whatever was in the house to make itself known. This time, their attention was drawn to a creepy doll sitting quietly inside the home. Instead of avoiding it, they decided to use it as part of an experiment. Watch closely.
Oricare spirit te află aici, oricare entitate, oricare demon, oricare suflet neliniștit, oricare strigoi, prin puterea primordială prin care am fost investit, îți ordon să miști pina aia. Marș de aici! Bă, mea! Râmea aia, băi, frate! Marș de aici, că nu cred așa ceva. Holy Jesus Christ! Îți ordon să miști pina aia. Marș de aici! Bă, mea! Vă arăt pina asta? Că nu-i legată cu nimic? Hă? Of, Doamne! Vă arăt pina asta? Hă?
Știi cum a două încoace, iau, răstoarnă, învârte și tot. Uite Dumnezeu, uite
Vă arăt pina asta care nu-i legată cu nimic?
Uite picioarele în ea, măi.
Hă? Dacă răbușa nu e abonată de asta.
Dar oricum poate să filmezi, stai seama.
Vă arăt, mă, puterea asta primordială?
There was nothing attached to the doll. No strings, no tricks, no hidden mechanism. The doll moved on its own. Some viewers argue the movement could be explained by balance or vibrations, but one of the investigators wasn't convinced that this alone was enough proof. So they decided to test something else nearby, choosing a completely different object to rule out coincidence. Take a look.
Oricare spirit te afla, oricare entitate, oricare demon, oricare strigoi, prin puterea primordială prin care am fost investit de către patriarh, îți ordon să miști.
Mirela.
Mișcă poza aia sau dă-o jos, fă ceva. Marș de aici! Aoleu! Uitați pozele, uitați poșetele, uitați poza că nu e legată cu nimic. Da? Uitați. Uitați pozele, uitați. Da? Da, Doamne.
After this second attempt, it became much harder to dismiss what was happening. Two separate objects responding under similar conditions suggested this wasn't just about the doll itself. Still, wanting absolute confirmation, they pushed further and attempted one final test. This time, they focused on something much larger.
Prin puterea prin care am fost investit, să rup perdeaua aia. Trage-o cât are.
Băi, Alin, băi. Doamne, maica, bă.
The curtains suddenly moved with force. Many believe this escalation is significant, and some say it shows the presence growing more aggressive the more it's challenged, while others warn that repeated provocation can turn a passive entity into a dangerous one. According to paranormal belief, spirits that respond with increasing force aren't simply playful, they're territorial, reactive, and possibly hostile. Whether this was a buildup of energy, a violent entity asserting control, or something darker reacting to being tested, one thing is clear. Whatever was inside that house didn't like being questioned. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian investigates the Mabel Tainter Memorial Theater, and this time he heads down into the basement. At first, everything feels calm, just old artifacts, storage rooms, and the quiet hum you'd expect from a historic building. But that calm doesn't last long. Watch and listen closely.
Creepy old fireplace. Oh my god, those sounded like voices. Hello? That legit sounded like people talking. Who's talking? Okay, there's definitely someone in there. It sounds like people talking in here. Hello? Who's in there? Talk to me. What's your name? Oh my gosh. Is there someone in here? There's literally nobody in here. And yet it sounded like there were. Oh. What's that smell?
The voices sound distant, almost conversational, as if someone is speaking just out of sight. Ian pauses, trying to pinpoint where it's coming from, when something else happens that confirms his suspicion that he isn't alone.
Alright, I know somebody's down here with me. Could you give me a sign of your presence? That door just opened! Oh my god! What just happened? Look at that. What? Are you serious? How do you explain that? That drawer just went boom. It just opened by itself. Thank you for opening the drawer. Could you shut it? That cigar smell is a lot stronger over here. It literally feels like there's 4 different spirits here sitting in each one of these chairs. And one of them just opened that. I can't thank you enough for opening that drawer. Thank you so much, because that was phenomenal. You got my heart rate going up. No way. It just moved again. Did you see that? Oh my god. I have no explanation for that. Wow, I am blown away. Thank you so much again.
This time, the movement isn't dramatic, but it's deliberate enough to catch his attention. Some viewers believe it's a response, subtle, controlled, and intentional. Ian considers possible explanations like pressure changes or airflow, but he can't find anything in the basement that would account for what just happened. Adding to the unease, longtime staff and investigators have shared rumors about this basement over the years. Some claim it's a hotspot for unexplained voices, especially late at night. Others say footsteps can be heard pacing back and forth when no one else is below, while a few report feeling sudden dizziness or heaviness in their chest after spending too much time down there. There are even stories suggesting the basement may have been used for private meetings and rehearsals long ago, leaving behind residual energy tied to intense emotion. So what do you think? Lingering energy from the theater's long history, or something more dangerous? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following video, Mosh explains that he believes he's been stalked by something dangerous. Over the past few weeks, he's mentioned waking up to footsteps pacing outside his bedroom door, shadows slipping past his hallway even when all the lights are off, and his unplugged TV flickering to life in the middle of the night. He's also talked about hearing low whispers, words he can't make out. Coming from corners of the house, he refuses to enter alone anymore. But one morning around 5 a.m., things escalated. Watch.
There's nobody here. It's just me and I'm shaking so hard because I just came down the stairs to make coffee. And I was doing that. And then I turned around and I saw something. And then I came over to look and I heard footsteps coming down the stairs. Like, you know when you hear the stairs coming and you know which way somebody's coming, up or down. You can tell which way somebody's coming. So I heard somebody coming down the stairs, and it's 5 in the morning, so it's not my dad or my mom. They're not here. They're just sleeping. I heard whispering, and I heard footsteps coming down the stairs. Oh my god. Okay. Hi, cat. Hi. Hey, beautiful. You scared the crap out of me. I thought you were something different. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. It didn't sound like you were coming down the stairs though. It sounded heavy. Why are you down here so early?
Whatever this was didn't just feel random to him. It felt intentional, like something had been creeping closer and finally decided to make itself known. Now, with everything he's been experiencing, people advised him to do an egg cleanse. In the paranormal world, an egg cleanse is believed to pull out negative energy or spiritual attachments, almost like wiping off something clinging to your aura. If the egg cracks strangely, turns cloudy, or shows dark shapes inside after the cleanse, many believe it's a sign that something unwanted was attached to you. And for someone living in Appalachia, where folklore, spirits, and strange encounters are practically part of everyday life, viewers weren't exactly surprised. They've heard enough stories from the mountains to know when something starts following you out there, you pay attention. In this next clip, a group of explorers went to visit Selma Mansion in Norristown, a place steeped in dark history and ghost stories. Legend has it that during the Victorian era, the mother of the Knox family and several of her children died in that very mansion. Since then, visitors have reported strange, mischievous activity. Cabinet doors slamming open and shut on the 3rd floor, and shadowy figures glimpsed deep in the basement. People whisper that the spirits of the Knox children are still playing their old games. So when the explorers arrived, they didn't waste time. They set up a spirit box session, hoping to communicate with whatever might still linger in the walls. But things didn't stay calm for long. Watch this.
So did you like this toy? Hello.
Are you the one slamming the gate?
Yeah. Turn my toy back on, please. No. I hate it. No, it feels like noticed me or something. You're not like the flashing lights?
As they tried to pick up responses, something unmistakably out of place moved. One of the team said the air felt thick, like a weight pressing down on them, making every breath feel heavy. Now the question is this solid proof that the rumors about the Knox children haunt the mansion, or is there a different explanation we're missing? Now, in this next video, a man captures something he's certain isn't normal. He was sitting on the couch, watching TV like any other night, when he suddenly heard a soft jingle. The zipper on his wife's handbag, the same bag that had been sitting untouched for hours. No one walked past it, no one brushed against it, nothing. Just a sudden metallic rattle in a perfectly still room. Curious and a little uneasy, he got up to check what was going on. But the moment he moved closer, this happened. How do you explain something that hasn't been touched for hours suddenly shifting on its own? No breeze, no pets. Normally, he and his wife might have shrugged it off. But recently, too many strange things have been happening in that house for them to ignore. Just 2 nights earlier, the wife said she saw a shadow walk past the doorway, even though her husband was asleep beside her. So when the bag moved on its own, it didn't feel random. It felt like part of a pattern, something building and getting bolder. Paranormal or not, one thing is clear. Something in that house is trying to make itself known. In this next video, a man was in his room watching a movie when he suddenly realized something strange was happening in his bathroom. And to this day, he still has no idea what he walked into. Take a look.
Oh shit. Guys, I'm here watching the Polar Express movie, my favorite movie, and something is screaming from the bathroom. Or it's towards that area. I heard something from over here. Shit. Who's in here? If you're in here, come on out. Come on out, I said. Come on out now. Something died. Something stinks. If you're in the bathroom, come on out. Come on out. Oh shit. Come on out now. Come on out. Ah shit. Oh shit. Hey. Who's in the bathroom now? Oh shit. Oh shit, it's nobody. Oh shit. Oh. Oh. Ah, fuck. Oh shit. I just saw something. I'm getting out of here. Stay there. I'm fucking.
The very first thing that hit him when he opened the door was the smell. Sharp, sour, and overwhelming. A sudden bad odor appearing out of nowhere is almost never a good sign, especially in paranormal circles. Many believe that foul smells can signal a spirit trying to manifest, or something darker trying to draw attention to itself. But what really unsettled viewers was something he hadn't even considered at first. He had 2 mirrors facing each other. For a lot of people who study or follow the paranormal, that setup is a big red flag. 2 mirrors facing each other are believed to create an infinite reflection, a kind of open tunnel or energy loop that some say can invite activity or amplify whatever is already present in the home. So when you combine all of this, the sudden foul smell, the strange disturbance in the bathroom, and the mirror-to-mirror setup, whatever he walked into wasn't random. But as always, I'll leave you to be the judge. The following video was recorded by a man who has never been able to stay in one apartment for long. Every time he settles somewhere new, things start out normal, until a few months pass. Then the same pattern begins. Unexplainable noises, objects shifting on their own, and that unnerving feeling of being watched. And in this new house, the activity has already started. Only this time, each encounter seems worse than the last. One night, just as he was about to go to bed, he heard someone banging on his door. Watch closely.
Man, banging again. It's like something on the stairs. You can't hear it though. I can. Yeah. It's weird. It's not next door. It's like the what the might be pipes in floorboard.
So every time I look, there's nothing there, no. On the stairs, quick. Nothing there. I need to tie him shit. Turn the water up. Freaking myself out.
If you look carefully, you'll notice a dark figure in a hoodie just standing there, watching him. But here's the real question. Could watching be the only thing this figure can do? Because the idea that someone is quietly observing you inside your own home is already disturbing. The kind of fear that sticks with you, makes you double check your locks, keeps you awake at night, wondering what you didn't hear or didn't see. But with cases like this, it's almost never a one-time thing. Watch this.
There's something banging then. Something was banging. I'm talking to myself. Something was banging, like, on my stairs. Dusty as I'm being a Is that a nip as well? What's that? There's something there. What the freaking myself out, man. Calm down. What the f was that? What's that? Something up there. What the f?
Whatever is in this house, it's getting bolder, and to make matters worse, viewers have pointed out that his videos show a crazy amount of orbs. So what do you think he's actually dealing with here? Is this man simply unlucky with every home he chooses, or is something following him from place to place? You decide. Now, in this next video, a ghost hunter named Donnie has been dealing with a sudden spike in activity inside his home, and it's all happened within the past 3 weeks. According to him, whatever is going on didn't start randomly. He believes something followed him home after an EVP session, and every day since, the activity has been getting stronger. One morning, he woke up to the sound of someone running down his stairs, fast, loud, and heavy, but here's the part that chilled him. He was completely alone. He grabbed his phone and started recording. Take a look.
Oh, what the? Off. Straight off.
Who's here? Who's here?
Me. Do you see that? That should not be good. Who's going up my stairs? Hey, buddy. You okay? Who's here? Are you okay? Are you okay? Holy sh...
This has got to stop. Fuck that. Two swinging lights. I don't know what the you can't be here. You have to go. I didn't tell you to come here. So I'm the only one here. Ever since this is getting way...
Objects moving on their own, cupboards swinging open, footsteps on floors where nobody should be, and sharp knocks echoing through the house. These aren't occasional events anymore, they're becoming aggressively common, but something else made him truly terrified. Watch this.
I want you at the top of the stairs. Come on, this is your playroom. This is our playroom. Don't be scared. Come on, buddy. This is your basement. This is me in your basement. Come on. Terry, you don't gotta be scared. You come with me. Come on. Think something's down here? Come on. Come with Daddy.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
You don't have to be scared. You come with me. What, someone up there? You okay? What's that look for? Are you scared, buddy? You don't have to be scared. You're a good boy. You don't have to be scared. I'll pick you up. You want me to pick you up? Come here. You want to come? I'll protect you. Okay. This is his basement. You don't have, I've never seen, why aren't you coming? Hey?
After that, he went down to the basement to try to figure out why his dog was acting that way, and that's when the situation crossed into something far more unsettling.
So, it's holy water.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come.
What the? Thy will be done on earth as is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses. This is the stair. Holy fire. Forgive.
You cannot stay here. You are not welcome. I did not invite you.
Are you okay? You don't have to be scared. You stick with me, okay? What did you see? Did you see something? Holy shit. Did I not just close that? No, I left that open.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those
those who trespass against us. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. That's... You gotta go. You were not invited here. You're not wanted here. Okay, I got you set up. You're pointing towards that. All right. The top of this scare case is where I thought I saw a shadow. And that was moving like that.
For someone who's been inside more haunted locations than most people will ever step foot in, it's easy to understand why Donnie thinks something attached itself to him and followed him home. But until we get more updates from him, this case remains an unresolved and very alarming mystery. Now in this next video, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his deep dive into one of Nebraska's most notoriously haunted locations, the Argo Hotel. This time, he headed straight into the basement, a part of the building many people refuse to enter. According to long-standing rumors, the basement is home to the spirit of a little girl who used to run and play down there, and there's also an old piano said to start playing by itself when no one is around. When Ian reached the bottom of the stairs, he began trying to communicate with whatever presence might still linger there. At first, everything was quiet, just that heavy, stale basement air. But then, this happened.
What the hell was that? Whatever it was, it sounded loud. And metal. Did you just move something in here? Oh God! Oh God! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! I know exactly what that was now. It was that freaking doctor's table, or whatever the heck that is. Oh God! I don't think I could stay down here much longer. Dude, that thing just freaking moved, all by itself. Just take deep breaths. You can get through this. Oh God. Look at that thing. It was literally up against the wall. And now look, it is way out here. In the freaking drawer. The drawer's open too. That wasn't open before. Was this one of the doctor's tables that was used in this hospital? Oh my God. All right, I'm legitimately ready to go. I don't want to be down here. That literally sounded like a little girl. Little girl's voice.
It sounded like a child's voice, and the moment Ian heard it, he froze. He couldn't shake the feeling that the stories he'd heard were no longer just rumors. Something was down there. And after this moment, Ian wasn't the only one convinced that the basement holds a spirit that never really left. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video is about a lady named Savannah, who's now in serious need of help, because it's starting to look like she's living through a real-life paranormal phenomenon. For months, she's been dealing with things she can't explain. Footsteps pacing around her room late at night, objects disappearing and reappearing in different places, her closet door cracking open on its own, and the overwhelming sensation that someone is standing right beside her whenever she tries to fall asleep. But things escalated the night she swore she felt something sit on her chest while she slept. And what truly pushed her to her breaking point was when she heard something in the darkness, mimicking her voice, calling her cat, She screamed, thinking she was losing her mind. Then she eventually set up cameras. What you're about to see is a compilation from different nights, everything her camera captured. Watch.
What?
Some nights, small objects would shift and slide across the room as if nudged by invisible hands. Other nights, something would crawl underneath her blanket, pressing against her legs as she slept. There were moments where her cat would freeze, stare at the corner of the room, and suddenly jump as if something tried to pick it up. And on the worst nights, she'd wake up feeling a tight pressure around her foot, like something was slowly trying to pull her off the bed. She's already blessed her room, she's placed crosses around her apartment, she's tried cleansing, prayers, everything. But whatever is there doesn't seem to care. Now she's asking for help, because at this point, she's genuinely afraid of what might happen next. If you have any suggestions, now's the time to share. Who knows, your comment might be the solution she's been searching for. In this next clip, a paranormal investigator decided to explore an old crematorium, and after what he experienced there, he says he won't be going back anytime soon. Watch this.
This is crazy.
Crematoriums already have a chilling history. These are places where countless families said their final goodbyes. Places where bodies are prepared, tagged, and stored before the final process. And in older crematoriums, especially those that have been shut down for years, many say the air never really loses that heaviness, as if the walls themselves remember everything they've seen. Some former workers claim that late at night, before closure, they'd hear metal trays shifting on their own, or doors to the furnace room slamming despite no draft. Others swear that once a body is cremated, the spirit doesn't always follow immediately. Sometimes it lingers, confused, or attached to the place where its physical form spent its final moments. Strange noises in an abandoned building are one thing, but inside a crematorium, with that history, this is the kind of place you enter once, and then decide it's better not to return. Now, in this next video, a mother named Christy has been dealing with something that's starting to unsettle her in ways she can't explain. For days now, she's noticed a strange pattern. She'll be talking to her little boy, something simple, everyday conversations, and suddenly he'll stop mid-sentence, freeze, and stare off toward a very specific part of the house. No blinking, no reacting. Almost like he's watching something move that she can't see. At first, she brushed it off as childish distraction, saying kids zone out all the time. But it kept happening, and each time, his eyes went to the same direction. One evening, while she was prepping dinner, he did it again. Only this time, he wouldn't stop pointing toward the dining room, repeating the same thing over and over with a strange calmness that made her skin crawl. Watch this.
Where's the ghost?
Look at it.
What do you see?
I see something in the dining room.
What is
I
it?
see something in the dining room.
Where is it?
You're too.
I don't see it.
I'm opening it. It's the hat. See, look, I'm opening it. You is one.
What?
You is one.
There's what?
You is.
What'd you see?
Next to my side.
What?
Next to my side on the to my side on the hat. To my side on the hat.
It's okay.
I see a vaccine pudding on a. I see a vaccine pudding in a hat.
You see what?
A vaccine pudding in a hat.
Imagine your own child saying something like that, with that kind of certainty. Christy finally took him to the dining room to figure out exactly where this thing was supposed to be. It turned out to be a picture hanging on the wall. But here's the part that's confusing her the most. That picture has been there for months. He's walked past it hundreds of times, eaten dinner right across from it, played near it. And it has never bothered him, so why now? Some people think kids are naturally more sensitive, and maybe he's suddenly picking up on something attached to the photo, an energy, a memory, or a presence that wasn't active before. Whatever the case is, something about that picture has clearly changed. And until she gets more answers, this one remains unsolved. The following video was captured outside an Argentinian hospital. A man had just finished visiting someone and was heading back to his car when he suddenly heard a loud bang. Thinking maybe someone needed help or that something had fallen, he walked toward the sound. But when he got there, the place was completely empty. So he headed back to his car, and that's when he noticed this. Watch.
Estamos en este momento en el microhospital, escuchamos un golpe y nos dimos vuelta porque dijimos, bueno, ¿quién está entrando? Cuestión de que no hay nadie atrás nuestro. Y miramos dentro del auto y dijimos, oh, pues el auto, qué mierda es. Lo peor de todo es que no queremos salir. Un miedo, la puta madre. Lo peor de todo es que se mueve adentro el auto y no hay nadie. O sea, ahora vamos a ir a controlar el auto. Pero parece como si fuese un reflejo. La puta madre. Uf. No, huevo. Ya, salimos rápido para que vean que no es mentira. Mamá, la piel de gallina, hermano. Piel de gallina. Cagazo. Nadie. Nadie. Yeah. Ya. Nadie. Un montón. Es un montón. Mierda. Y encima nos mira la puta que te parió. No, chabón. No. Desapareció. La concha.
The moment he saw what was sitting in the back seat, you can tell his entire body reacted. When he lifted his arm to the camera, you could literally count each hair standing straight up. That's not something you fake, that's a full body fear response. But what really got people talking were the details, especially the movement of the face. Whatever was in that car wasn't a reflection, and it definitely wasn't a person hiding inside, because he didn't even take the camera off the car until he reached for the door. And when the head suddenly ducked behind the driver's seat, yeah, reflections don't do that. Now, here's where this gets even more unsettling. This didn't happen in just any location. It happened right outside a hospital, a place where people pass on, where emotions run heavy, where many believe spirits linger the longest before moving on. So the real question is, what exactly entered that car? And why did it wait until he was alone? This one remains a mystery. Now, in this next clip, a lady's dog has been acting out ever since she got a new truck. At first, she thought it was nothing. Maybe he just wasn't familiar with the sound or smell. But the more she paid attention, the more unsettling things became. Have a look.
What is it? What is it? But there's nothing over here.
After watching this clip, some people said it could be the tires. Maybe the rubber was warm, maybe the scent was strange to him. But then a different wave of comments rolled in, questions that made the whole situation feel a lot darker. People started asking whether the truck was actually new, if she knew anything about the previous owners, or if the truck had ever been involved in an accident, because dogs don't usually whine like that unless they're reacting to something they don't understand, or something we can't see. She eventually came forward with an update that surprised everyone. The truck is brand new and she's already checked underneath, inside, and around the engine for any animals or signs of something stuck. Yet, Titus still behaves like this. She also revealed that ever since she brought the truck home, Titus has never agreed to get inside, not even once, and honestly, the comments weren't helping either. People began warning her that dogs can sense what humans can't, and that her dog might be reacting to a dangerous spirit attached to the vehicle. Some even went as far as saying that if she doesn't get it blessed, she could end up in an accident. One morning, Titus wanted to check the garage again, barking and whining in a way she'd never seen before, so she followed him, camera in hand, and here's what she caught. At this point, she has no idea what she's dealing with anymore. And honestly, none of the explanations so far feel comforting. So what do you think? Is Titus reacting to the smell of the tires? Is there a spirit attached to the truck? Or is there something else we're missing? Something that ties all these events together? Now, this next video captures something most people fear more than any regular haunting: a mimic. Mimics are the type of entities people describe as intelligent, calculating, and frighteningly good at imitating the voices of people you know and trust, usually to lure you closer or get you to respond. One afternoon, a lady was home completely alone when she suddenly heard this coming from inside her house. Watch.
Are you there, honey? Open the door for mommy. Bella. Hello. Bella.
The moment people heard that voice, the comment section exploded. Not because of the sound itself, but because of the way she reacted. She didn't panic, she didn't call out, she didn't ask who's there. She stayed absolutely silent. And for good reason. Because when it comes to mimics, the #1 rule everyone repeats is, do not respond. Responding means you're already playing its game. So the fact that she stayed completely quiet is what everyone agrees might have kept this from going much further. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his exploration at Bonanzaville, an open-air museum made up of old, fully preserved historic buildings from different eras of North Dakota. In the last video we posted, Ian entered the Telephone Museum, but this time he went to the Brass Rail Saloon in the Page Hotel, said to be one of the most active buildings on the entire property. Built in 1889, this place used to be a bustling stop for travelers. Food, liquor, music, rooms upstairs, the whole deal. But today, it's known for something else entirely. Voices that shouldn't exist, footsteps pacing empty rooms, and unexplained noises that seem to follow anyone who dares explore the second floor alone. Watch this.
Could you do that again? If there's anyone in here, I invite you to come sit with me. I just want to get to know some of the people that are here. I hear that there's a lot of spirits in this building. Could you walk up to this table and sit down with me? I mean, I didn't bring any cards or anything, but I mean, if you've got some, I don't know if you can in the afterlife, but feel free to sit on this table here. Whoa. I just heard that chair move. Holy moly.
Unfortunately, he had his infrared light pointing directly at the camera, making the chair in front of him impossible to see. But the moment he stepped out of that room, something else happened.
Is there anybody in here? Whoa. That came from in there. I think I might have heard somebody in here. Is there anyone in here? Whoa! Oh my God! It's okay. It's okay. I'm not gonna run. Did you just tap on that bed? Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. That scared the living daylights out of me. Holy moly. Dude, that was a freaking voice. I heard it so clear on this voice recorder. Oh, it was a female. It was a female voice.
Ian was almost convinced there had to be someone else inside the building with him, but the footage says it all. He was completely alone. So the question is, who or what answered Ian that night? And why is her voice still echoing through a building that hasn't hosted a living guest in over a century? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip was recorded by Melhia Davis, a woman who is fully convinced that her house is haunted. For months, she's been dealing with things she just can't explain. Faint footsteps in the hallway long after everyone is asleep, doors clicking open in the early hours of the morning, and the feeling of being watched whenever she walks past her kids' rooms. One night, after putting her children to bed, this happened. Watch. First, she heard strange sounds coming from down the hallway. When she went to trace the noise, she saw the white door slowly closing on its own. Not long after, scratching sounds began coming from the walls, and before she could even process that, her TV suddenly turned itself on, without anyone touching the remote. She's burned camphor, she's tried cleansing her space with Palo Santo, and she's done everything people recommended to keep the energy calm. But nothing seems to be changing. Now, for the sake of her children, leaving is starting to feel like the only option left. Yet, many viewers insist that since nothing harmful has happened, the spirit might simply be seeking attention or trying to communicate. But is it really worth waiting until something does happen? What exactly do you think she's dealing with, and is moving out the right call or a rash decision? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. In the following clip, a woman who has been dealing with what she believes is a mimic decided to sage her home, and for a while everything went quiet. No strange voices, no footsteps, no movement in the corners, just silence. Until one night, this happened. Watch this.
So she's back. The last time I made this video, people were saying that it's my double reflection. But I'm just gonna put up my hand here. Yeah, the sage has worn off.
Aside from the mimic-like reflection in the window, viewers pointed out something even more disturbing. Another figure lurking in the darkness. When she realized this, it added an entirely new mystery to her situation. She also mentioned something most people found chilling. Whenever she turns around, nothing is there. She only ever sees the mimic through window reflections, never directly. Some think that means this thing is tied to reflective surfaces, almost like it can only reveal itself when she isn't looking at it head on. Others believe it's intentionally avoiding being seen, which could mean it's growing more aware or more dangerous. But the detail that caused the biggest debate? The fact that she saged the house. Many viewers believe that if she was dealing with a mimic, saging may have been a mistake. Not because sage is bad, but because some entities don't flee from cleansing. They get agitated by it. A few even suggested that sage might have pushed the mimic deeper into hiding, making it harder to track and possibly attracting something else in the process. But I'll leave that part to you. Was saging the house helpful, or did it make things worse? In this next clip, an explorer visits the former home of a woman named Rebecca. a place many locals believe is still haunted by her spirit. Have a look.
No. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Are you freaking kidding me? Okay. All right.
When you knock on a door and it opens by itself, especially in a house with a history like this, there are a few unsettling possibilities. Some believe that in the paranormal world, a door opening on its own can be a form of invitation, a spirit responding to your presence, acknowledging that it heard you. Others say it's a sign of residual activity, where the house is replaying something Rebecca used to do in life, almost like an echo of her routine. But the interpretation that creeped people out the most is the idea of intelligent interaction, meaning the spirit isn't just present, but aware. If the door opened right after he knocked, some think Rebecca might be answering the door the same way she would have when she was alive, only now she's doing it from the other side. So was this a simple coincidence, a residual replay, or Rebecca herself responding? You decide. Now, in this next video, a woman named Kyla, who has talked before about hearing strange things around her home, like faint footsteps on her porch at night, whispers outside her bedroom window, and soft knocks on her walls with no one there, experienced something even more unsettling. This time, she was outside, and her doorbell camera caught what appears to be a ghostly voice. Listen closely.
Inside, here we go. Here we go. Oh my God. He's gonna grab his keys and you're gonna have to leave me. What the fuck was that?
An unknown entity clearly says, "Hey, hey, hey." When a spirit communicates only through voice but never shows itself physically, many believe it could mean a few things. Some say it's the sign of a disembodied spirit, one that hasn't fully manifested but is still strong enough to interact with sound. Others think it could be a mimic trying to lure attention, using a friendly tone so the person lowers their guard. And in some cases, a voice without a form is said to be the start of a progression, where the activity slowly builds over time, eventually becoming louder, more frequent, and even more personal. If this is the beginning stage, what comes later could be anything from full apparitions to objects moving on their own, depending on the intention of whatever is trying to communicate with her. For now, all we know is, something spoke, and it wasn't human. Now, experiencing a mimic for the first time can be overwhelming in a way you can't quite prepare for. Hearing a voice that sounds exactly like you echoing through your own home, especially when you know you're completely alone, isn't just confusing, it hits you with a kind of fear that goes straight to your spine. It feels wrong on every level, like reality is glitching. That's exactly what happened to the man in this clip, and he still hasn't recovered from the shock. He also has no idea how to make sure it never happens again. Take a look.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. I told you. Come here.
But here's the big question. What do you do when you hear your own voice in your house? Some people insist the first step is setting boundaries out loud, telling whatever is there that it is not allowed to mimic you. Others swear by protection practices like cleansing with smoke, salt barriers at doorways, or placing mirrors facing outward to bounce back unwanted energy. Then there's the other side of the debate. Some believe that confronting or acknowledging a mimic only makes it stronger, since mimics are known for feeding off attention and fear. Sadly, that's exactly what happened.
Okay, I don't know what you're doing. You can literally hear that. God. No.
According to some of his friends, the safest thing to do is to ignore it completely, act like you didn't hear a thing, and avoid giving it any emotional reaction. But a few insist that mimics are a sign of a deeper energy imbalance in the home, something that may require a medium, a cleansing ritual, or even relocating if the activity escalates, but like other videos, I'll let you be the judge of this one. Now in this next video, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his exploration through one of Nebraska's most haunted places, the Argo Hotel. This time, he decided it was finally time to check out room 1, the only room he hadn't stepped into yet. He sounded casual, even a little curious, but there was a slight hesitation in his voice, the kind that slips out when you're not entirely sure what you're about to walk into. At first glance, the room looks surprisingly normal, neat, quiet, almost welcoming. Definitely not what he expected from the creepiest room guests kept warning him about, but then, out of nowhere, this happened. Watch.
My voice. Could you? Whoa. No way. Oh God, oh God. That thing is freaking moving. I mean, it is windy outside, but still, that's like really moving. Is this your jewelry? It's very beautiful. Could you move it again? I'm just trying to think of any rational explanation, but I've got nothing. I can't think of anything. Like I said, it is really windy outside. I can literally hear it whistling out there. But none of it's getting into here, so I mean, I would be feeling that, like, especially if it's moving that much, like you would feel that gusto when you'd hear it. Whoever moved that necklace, could you tell me your name? I'm getting a little freaked out now. Something else just moved. And it's always got to be behind me. Why does it always have to be freaking behind me? It freaks me out. What the heck got moved? I'm not even sure. I smell something floral. It smells like perfume. I mean, it could be coming from this. I don't really smell it from there, though. It's like coming from somewhere else. Ma'am, is that your perfume I'm smelling? I'm not alone in this room. I am not alone. That came from over in here now. It sounded like the bed. The bed moving. Holy shit. Nope. I'm done. I'm done.
Room 1 is rumored to be haunted by the spirit of a woman. A presence guests claim loves to brush against people while they sleep, as if checking whether they're awake. Some even said they felt a hand on their arm or shoulder in the middle of the night. After Ian finally calmed his nerves and worked up the courage to go back inside, something else happened.
Literally had to reach from underneath here and pull this. That takes a lot of force. Was that you who just undid this bedding? If so, I'm gonna dare you to pull the blankets off the rest of the way. Could you do that for me? Oh no. Oh no. What the hell is that now? There's freaking water. Water running in there. What the hell is that? Is that the freaking bathtub? What the hell? Oh my god. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Alright, I'm done. I'm done with this room. I'm ready to be out.
And that moment was enough for him. No more theories, no more doubt. To Ian, this was absolute proof that the Argo Hotel is haunted. For more haunting videos, including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following clip, a man had just moved into a new apartment, hoping for a fresh start. But by the second night, things already felt off, and small details began piling up. Unexplained creaks in empty rooms, the feeling of being watched when the lights were off, and moments where the air felt strangely heavy, like someone else was sharing the space with him. One night, as he was getting into bed, he started hearing faint whispers. Not loud enough to make out words, but clear enough to know it wasn't coming from inside. When he grabbed his phone to record and prove to his friends, who hadn't been taking him seriously, the whispering stopped almost immediately, but the camera still caught something. Watch. When he reviewed the footage, he saw a shadowy figure, and what makes this more unsettling is that it didn't stop there. By the third day, then the fourth, the activity continued. Objects seemed slightly out of place, doors felt heavier than usual, and the same uneasy presence kept returning, especially at night. One evening, while recording another video to explain what had been happening, something interrupted him mid-sentence. Watch closely.
Okay, so this is my apartment, guys. So I moved here in around July, and at least I think around, it was like last week I moved in. And the first day it was nice and peaceful and everything was good, but then, you know, while I was here in my bedroom, it's nothing, but all of a sudden lately I've been having very strange, kind of some weird paranormal type stuff where the doors opening by itself. And that was actually the second night. It was the second night. Then I think it was around 11. I was kind of in my office, but I was going to bed, and all of a sudden I look at this real looking creepy apparition that was kind of exactly around right in the same air corner, and I looked at it, I'm like, oh crap. So I kind of ran. I'm like, what the heck is that? And it had hands, and I saw half of his face, but it looked like white ghostly. I don't know what it is, but very weird. It was very weird. But then all of a sudden, it's just crazy. Oh snap, what the heck? What the heck? Hello? What the heck? Y'all see that? Man, that thing drove by itself, and there's no wind drag or nothing. Look at the fan, look at that the fan working. What the heck? Y'all saw that, right? This is what I'm talking about. It's doing it by itself. Nobody there. The freak is wrong with this? And to me, now, sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, but the air ain't on. And it usually come on. But goodness gracious, that was just weird. But this is what I'm talking about. And then 2 days ago, I decided, because I didn't get no videos from last week when I moved in. This time I had to do the video it was on Thursday. And I had my tripod, and I was like, okay, let me put this down and see what happens. Then all of a sudden, here comes a weird figure coming through the hallway. Coming through the dark hallway like it's crazy. Right in that corner. But the camera flipped the other way. It was the other way. So it was actually that way. But it was in that corner. So it's very weird. Well, very creepy stuff happening in my apartment. But I'm gonna need some parables out here. Man, I'll let you know if I see anything strange out there. But what you just saw, I think that there was no, I ain't seen, I don't know, I did not see nothing. And it just opened by itself. Nothing.
Some believe this suggests whatever is in the space doesn't just observe, but reacts when acknowledged. Others think it may be tied to the apartment itself, possibly something left behind by a previous tenant. Whether it's a shadow entity, residual energy, or something feeding off attention, one thing is clear. He's convinced he's not alone in that apartment. And if the activity has already escalated this quickly, the real question is, what happens next? In this next video, a woman discovers something deeply unsettling on her own phone, a video she has absolutely no memory of recording. Before you watch it, here's a quick backstory. She found this video exactly 2 weeks after someone very close to her passed away unexpectedly. And what makes this even harder to ignore is the fact that this was his home too. Watch closely. In the video, you can hear what sounds like a male voice softly singing, almost like a lullaby. The tone isn't aggressive, it's calm and gentle, and that's what unsettles people the most. Some viewers believe the voice is trying to comfort her, a quiet way of saying he's okay, that he's still around, watching over her. Others think it's something far more troubling, that he may be stuck, unable to move on, and this was his attempt to reach out for help in the only way he could. A few even suggest it could be an emotional imprint, something left behind in the house during a moment of intense grief. What adds another chilling layer is the time this video was recorded. The video was recorded at 2:59 a.m., a time often associated with heightened paranormal activity, a moment when the house is silent, the mind is vulnerable, and unexplained things seem more willing to surface. So was this a message meant only for her? A final attempt to communicate? Or is this something else entirely? Something that simply chose her phone, her home, and that moment in the night? You decide. Now, this next video was captured inside an old school by a man who works there overnight. Once everyone leaves, his job is to walk the halls, check classrooms, and make sure everything is locked and in place before morning. On one of those quiet night shifts, he started hearing sounds coming from the bathroom, the kind of sounds you'd expect if someone was actively using it: water running, movements, and subtle echoes. At first, he waited outside, assuming someone would eventually come out, but minutes passed, and no one did. When he finally decided to go in, this is what he saw. Watch.
Vámonos aquí.
trabajo es checar que ya no haya nadie. Apagar todo y cerrar todo. Es una escuela. Una escuela de noche. En Estados Unidos, que tiene muchos años esta escuela ya. Es una escuela muy viejita.
Your first thought would be faulty plumbing or pressure buildup in an old building. But you see, in a place meant to be completely empty, it felt less like a malfunction, and more like something replaying a routine that never really stopped. But I'll leave you to be the judge on this one. In the following video, a man named David shares his disturbing experiences and how the activity inside his house has left him completely confused and overwhelmed. At first, he believed he was dealing with a spirit trapped inside one of his dolls, a presence that seemed distressed, emotional, and very much in pain. Watch this.
¿Vieron cómo se movió la cortina? ¿Vieron cómo se movió la cortina? Y no es aire, o sea, tengo ventiladores y todo. Todo está cerrado aquí. Así no parece que me ve. Pero así sí. Y así es como me acuesto. ¿Pero quién es Daniel? Alexa, enciende la luz del baño.
Muy bien.
¿Qué? Pero no entiendo por qué aquí. No entiendo por qué en este lugar. Miren. Cambio de posición, ¿vieron? No me había dado cuenta. Estoy así, volteo a ver y ya me está viendo así. Vean la diferencia de cómo me estaba viendo cuando recién estaba levantándome a cómo está ahorita.
After seeing this, it's easy to understand why so many people believe the spirit inside the doll is suffering. In the clip, the voice coming from the doll sounds strained and desperate, repeatedly crying out the name Daniel, almost as if it's calling for someone who never came back. Some viewers believe the spirit may be asking for forgiveness, while others think it's reliving a traumatic moment, stuck in a loop it can't escape. What makes the moment even more unsettling is the fact that before David left the bathroom, the doll was like this. Then when he came back to the room, the doll was facing David directly. But things didn't stop there, and soon, it became clear that David wasn't just dealing with a doll and a voice anymore. One night, he hears a noise coming from outside and decides to investigate, hoping to finally get some clarity. Here's what he captured.
Otra vez, trabajando. Son las 12:31 de la noche. Y otra vez. Y estoy solo. Ya me cansé, en serio, ya me cansé. cansado. Otra vez. Ahí se ve la otra vez. ¿Se acuerdan? No hay nada. Me subo rápido. ¡Ay, no mames! Se me cayó el celular. ¿Lo vieron? Estaba ahí. No mames, ya no sé qué hacer. ¿Qué es esto, cabrón?
If you look closely, a terrifying figure suddenly appears out of the darkness, startling David completely. Some believe this figure could be a manifestation of the same spirit, no longer confined to the doll, while others think David may have attracted something far more sinister by acknowledging it for too long. And after this night, the focus of the haunting shifts entirely. Now, every single night, David begins hearing someone knocking at his door, and it's becoming unbearable. Watch this.
Son las 4:16 de la mañana. Recuerden que yo me duermo con la tele encendida. Escucha, ¿no? Pendejo. Para los que me ponen en los comentarios acerca de que hago cortes en la cámara o que se ocultan en algún lado, qué sé yo, personas. Mi hermana estaba ahí porque la estábamos cuidando de algo que le pasó. No, nada. Nada. No sé. Ya déjenme en paz.
This time, he sees something different. Instead of a man, it looks like a woman. At this point, David is completely confused. First, a spirit crying out Daniel, then a frightening male figure outside his home, and now, a woman. Many viewers believe it's all still connected to that one doll, that the doll may have acted as a doorway, allowing multiple entities or manifestations to pass through, each presenting itself in a different form. One night, desperate to distract himself from the growing tension in the house, David sits down to watch the popular sitcom Friends. But even Joey and Chandler's jokes couldn't help because he suddenly hears a voice, this time loudly shouting his name. Combined with the fact that his cat has been extremely restless, constantly staring at empty spaces and reacting to things David can't see, the situation becomes even more concerning. And sometimes when David checks the window, he sees something absolutely terrifying waiting there. A creepy, unnatural-looking figure standing outside after he hears someone knocking on his door. And this is exactly why so many people say you should never open the door when you hear someone knocking, especially late at night. Some believe responding gives whatever is outside permission to enter, while others think it's a test, to see if you'll acknowledge it at all. Whether it's one spirit manifesting in different ways or something darker that latched on through the doll, everything seems confusing. So until David shares more updates, this case remains a mystery. Now in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his solo exploration through the haunted buildings of Bonanzaville. This time, his next stop is the church. Built in 1890, the South Pleasant Church carries decades of quiet history, but it's also one of the locations visitors find the most unsettling. Many believe the church is haunted by what can only be described as shadowy children. They're often reported darting between pews, appearing briefly near the altar, and then vanishing just as quickly. Some visitors even claim to have found small, dusty footprints on the floor, far too small to belong to an adult, appearing where no one had walked moments before. And if you know Ian well, you'll know that's enough reason for him to go in.
I'd just like to be your friend. My name is Ian, and I'd just like to be friends with anyone in here. Would you like to play? Why do you stay at this church? Where are your parents? Whoa. Hello? I think I finally heard something. Okay, I think I heard somebody over there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Dude, an orb just freaking went flying. Was that you? Are you running around?
During this moment, Ian manages to capture a strange light anomaly on his camcorder. Some believe this could be one of the ghostly children said to dart around this very church, briefly revealing itself before slipping away again. But Ian didn't give up yet. Watch what happens next.
Are you up here? Little boy or little girl? I saw you. Whoa, I just felt something pull on my jacket. It was like right behind me. And it was real low, like a little child. Did you just tug on my jacket? I think I just felt you. It's okay if you did.
At this point, he comes to a conclusion. Whatever is here isn't following him from place to place. Instead, each structure holds onto its own past, its own energy, and perhaps its own spirits. With that realization, Ian finally decides it's time to bring this part of the investigation to an end. But while Ian walks away this time, the spirits tied to these places aren't going anywhere. So the real question is, what happens when the next visitor steps inside? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video was recorded by Francisco, a man who works at the Gallup Indian Medical Center, a place known for late-night emergencies, long quiet hallways, and the kind of unexplained noises staff usually try not to think too much about. Things fall on their own sometimes, doors close when no one's around, and workers have shared stories of hearing footsteps long after the wards are empty. And on this particular evening, Francisco had his own experience. He was the only person left at work around 5 p.m. when he started hearing things.
And I'm just recording because I don't know who it could be or anyone's here. It's just me here. It's like 5 o'clock and nobody's here and I'm the only one here ready to leave. Hello? 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 It's crazy because there's nobody here. Hello? 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 Where is it coming from? There's nobody. I don't know where that noise is coming from. Hello? Anybody here?
He kept walking from one section of the office to another, checking every corner, every hallway, but there was nothing. Yet the knocking continued, clear, deliberate. And according to some beliefs, when a knock happens 3 times, it's not always a person. Some say it's a way for a spirit to mimic human behavior. Others believe it's a warning or a way to get someone's attention. Unsettled and unable to shake the experience, Francisco went straight to the security unit to explain what had happened. But when they pulled up the feed, no one was there. Just Francisco, and whoever or whatever wanted him to know he wasn't alone. Now Francisco is left with one question. If this happens again, what's he supposed to do? Ignore it, confront it, or leave it completely alone? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. This next clip was captured around 3 a.m. by a family you might remember from a previous video on this channel, but let me give you a quick rundown so you're not lost. It all started on random nights when their daughter would suddenly wake up crying, and while they were trying to calm her down, they'd hear someone knocking on their front door. At first it seemed harmless, maybe a confused neighbor, maybe someone who had the wrong apartment, the kind of thing you brush off because you don't want to assume the worst. But it kept happening, night after night. Same soft knocking, same timing, and eventually curiosity got the best of them. One night, the father finally decided to check, and when he opened the door, there was a figure standing right outside. People who watched that first clip said the family made a huge mistake opening the door at that hour, because whatever that figure was, it's like something shifted after that moment. The knocking stopped, but other things started happening. Watch this.
Se están escuchando ruidos en la parte de abajo de la casa. Buenas noches. Buenas noches. ¿Ya vieron el sillón?
Hice mi primer dieta a los 9 años. They all love me, but they want me to lose weight. Tienen como una propia cárcel. ¿Qué pasa cuando sacan todo? ¿Qué tienes? ¿Te animas a divertirte?
Desvestida, la moda pasó de moda. Todos los domingos, 10 de la
Se estaba moviendo, lo juro por Dios.
por Star Channel.
Cada vez se empeora más esto. ¿Quién anda ahí? Buenas. Estoy bastante preocupado, se escucha ahora ruidos ahí arriba. Sea lo que seas, no perteneces aquí. No sé qué quieras. Vete de aquí, por favor. ¿Quién diablos prendió la televisión? Esta tele también.
Now the TV turns on by itself at night, and the rocking chair in the living room moves on its own. Slow, steady, like someone invisible has settled into it and is gently rocking back and forth. Viewers believe whatever had been knocking might have slipped inside when the door opened, almost as if the opening itself acted like an invitation. Others think the presence had been waiting for acknowledgement, and that moment at the door was the confirmation it needed. And with the rocking, the electronics flickering and powering on, and the strange, heavy silence where the knocking used to be, a lot of people feel this might only be the beginning of something more intense in that house. But what do you think is happening here? And what exactly can a family do in a situation like this? They might just be reading the comments looking for answers. The following clip has sparked a debate among believers and skeptics, and it all centers on a woman named Sydney and her sister Gretchen, Gretch as she calls her, who rented an Airbnb for a wedding they had that weekend. Only a few minutes after settling in, Sydney stepped out to walk the dog, but when she came back inside, this is what she met.
Jesus Christ.
Great. Touch it. Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
The curtain, the balloon, and the dog's leash that suddenly flung into the air on the staircase like someone yanked it upward. Skeptics immediately jumped in, insisting it was just the wind, or maybe the house settling, but others pushed back, pointing out how each object moved, almost as if something was interacting with them. Sydney and Gretch couldn't shake the feeling that something about this place was off, but it was only their first hour in the house, and leaving right away felt like they'd be overreacting. And besides, the dog seemed calm, which most people agreed was a sign there was nothing to worry about, but soon that would change.
Okay, so this is the leash. If this moves, I'm literally going to run. There she goes again. I don't think the leash is gonna move, but she's definitely sensing something. Every single day.
With the way the dog was reacting, there's definitely something on those stairs. It wasn't the curious kind of sniffing dogs do when they pick up a new scent. This was cautious, stiff, almost like he was bracing for whatever he sensed up there. And to make matters worse, one viewer commented that she actually recognized the Airbnb because of the carpet pattern, and claimed someone had died on those exact steps. Some believe that kind of energy can linger, attaching itself to the place and replaying moments of fear. Others think trauma can open a doorway, like the house becomes a magnet for things that don't belong in this world anymore. Sydney, determined to make sense of what was going on, began quietly looking around the house, checking corners and details she'd ignored when they first arrived. That's when she discovered something that might be the missing piece to their puzzle. Watch this.
Okay, so I think I figured out why my dog just is always hanging out right here. So I just found a door back here. So I don't think that it's what's on the stairs. I think it's something that's underneath. So I tried to check, but the door is locked. Obviously it's an Airbnb, so they lock a lot of the doors up, but so yeah, I don't think that it's what's on the stairs like what I initially thought. I think it's what's below. I'm gonna find out at this point.
Now that they'd found a locked basement under the stairs, things finally began to add up. Sydney couldn't shake the feeling that whatever was happening on those steps, whatever her dog kept sensing and pacing around, was connected to whatever was sealed behind that door. It was almost like the dog was reacting to something moving underneath them, something it could feel but they couldn't. Curious and honestly a little desperate for answers, Sydney slid her phone under the door to see what might be inside. Watch this.
So this is the switch. You guys can see their light is on right there. I wonder if
maybe there's someone right behind the door. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god, did that just happen?
The doorknob suddenly moved, like someone was trying to open it from the inside. At that point, the ladies were terrified, their thoughts going in every direction. At first, they tried to think logically. They even wondered if someone might actually be living down there because they'd experienced something similar at another Airbnb where the host was secretly double renting rooms. But when they checked the house again and found no one there, that theory fell apart, leaving them with something much more unsettling. After taking a moment to breathe and think through what just happened, the sisters decided to try again, this time hoping to catch whatever was turning the doorknob. But something even more terrifying happened. Have a look.
Scary. Okay, every time we've knocked before, this doorknob would turn a little bit.
Something yanked the phone straight out of Sydney's hand from the basement, and when the phone landed down there was no visible person in sight. Yet the phone kept moving, almost like it was being dragged or nudged by something just out of frame. Viewers started speculating immediately. Some thought someone was hiding in the shadows, others swore it looked like the phone was being pulled by an invisible force, the way objects shift during severe residual hauntings. They called the host, who eventually came over to unlock the basement so Sydney could retrieve her phone. But when he arrived, Sydney and her sister noticed something they couldn't ignore. Watch.
But there's no reason for me to go that way. But I'm waiting to start hearing things from coming underneath my house. That's it. I'm out of here. The door. Okay, well, door two. It's creepy.
Thank you.
The host had a tattoo of nested triangles on his right palm, and several viewers said they would bet anything that he knew more about that room than he was letting on. The symbol itself sent the comment section spiraling. Many viewers immediately recognized the symbol, saying it's associated with occult practices, protection marks, or rituals involving gateways or sealed rooms. The fact that this symbol was on his hand and the basement was locked under the stairs sent people into a frenzy. A few even suggested the tattoo might mean he tried sealing something in that basement, and that whatever it was might not be fully contained anymore. The situation worried a lot of people. Viewers kept asking for details, urging the sisters to leave the Airbnb immediately. Some even insisted they could get a refund if the host failed to disclose that someone else might also be renting the space. Eventually, Sydney responded with this update.
Okay, so I sent the video to the landlord of the Airbnb, and hold on, let me turn on the light. Okay, I sent the video to the landlord of the Airbnb asking, like, hey, is there someone else renting it out as well as us or what? Because there's a room under the stairs that we can't get into. It's locked, so I didn't know. And basically he was like, no, you guys are the only ones that are in the Airbnb right now, like booked out for the week. So okay, kind of feel relieved in a way, because I think it would be really weird and kind of creepy if there were people staying there as well that we didn't know about. But yeah, he didn't seem worried at all about it, so we'll see.
Now, Sydney is convinced they aren't dealing with a simple rental mishap. With the unexplained movement, the dog's behavior, the locked basement, the shaking doorknob, the phone being pulled, and the host's unsettling tattoo, it's getting harder and harder to deny that something else might be in that house. So what was in the basement? A spirit trying to get out? Or something trying very hard to keep others from getting in? You decide. In the following video, Kyle was filming, talking excitedly about publishing his upcoming horror novel, when something happened that instantly shifted the tone. Watch.
Holy shit. That just opened by itself. Okay. Yo, that just opened. It just opened by itself. we're gonna... And this broke. This broke. Okay, maybe that's for the best. Oh, that scared the shit out of him. I'm gonna have a freaking heart attack. That string broke. Well, that's just fine because I'm never going up there again.
That door leading to the attic? It's the same attic where he's captured strange figures, unexplained bangs, footsteps pacing above his room, and even whispering voices when no one else was home. So when the door creaked open behind him in the middle of his recording, many viewers became convinced it wasn't a coincidence at all, that something up there was inviting him, or trying to get his attention. Others, meanwhile, are eagerly waiting for his book, especially because they know his stories aren't just fiction. A lot of them are based on real events, things he has personally lived through in that house. People are already speculating about which moments he'll write about, and how he managed to cope with everything he's been experiencing. But until Kyle gives an update, or until the release of that book, this remains yet another unsettling moment in a house that refuses to stay quiet. Now, in this next video, a woman named Monica Monch, who works after hours in an office building that's completely empty at night, holidays, and weekends, has been experiencing something she can no longer brush off. One night, while she was doing her usual rounds, this happened.
I'm at work. I'm the only person here. And I'm here. Oh my god, I'm scared. The scary movie says you don't go see what's going on. But what the I'm gonna lose my goddamn shit. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna die.
A voice said, "What are you thinking?" even though she was the only one in the entire building. And then there was the toy she picked up to inspect, thinking maybe it had batteries, but it didn't. It only makes noise if someone physically touches it. Yet in the video, it activates all on its own, as if an invisible hand was playing with it right next to her. This clip has caused a huge debate online. Some people are convinced Monica is dealing with something otherworldly, something intelligent. To them, a voice responding directly to her and a toy working on its own feels far too specific and intentional to dismiss as coincidence. And with the security guards reportedly hearing similar things, many believe whatever's in that office isn't just passing through, it's trying to communicate. But it's hard not to wonder if Monica has become the center of something she was never meant to notice. Until she shares more footage, this case remains a mystery. Now, this next video comes from a woman who recently ended things with her boyfriend, but according to her, the breakup didn't end the story. In fact, she believes it only made things worse. She claims her ex had something dark attached to him, something his family openly acknowledged. And once she heard them speak about it so casually, so normally, that's when she started connecting the dots. All the strange wiring issues in his house, the unexplained noises, the way objects moved on their own. She began to realize these weren't random incidents. They were signs of whatever the family had been living with for years. And then came the night captured in this clip, filmed while she and her ex were separated.
It's just something. What?
This wasn't the first time something happened, and definitely not the worst. She later talked about an incident involving his sister. One morning, the sister woke up to find her puppy dead, and every single plant in her house completely withered overnight. And when she herself was still living with her boyfriend, she experienced nights where the entire atmosphere of the house would change. Sharp cold spots appearing out of nowhere, doors creaking open even after she locked them, and shadows moving in corners where there was nowhere for shadows to be. Some nights, she said, it felt like something was walking from room to room, checking on them. And now that she's out of the relationship, she believes whatever was attached to the family has turned its attention toward her. Many call it a jumper, something that doesn't just haunt a single house or a single person, but moves. It attaches itself to whoever comes close enough, feeding off the conflict, the stress, the emotional chaos, and following them even after they leave. Whether it's because she spent years around it, or because it chose her, she doesn't know. But based on this footage and everything she's described, it seems like whatever was haunting that family isn't quite done with her yet. In this next video, two friends were at home, hanging out and playing games when they started noticing strange things. It started in the hallway, something that made both of them glance up from their game even though neither wanted to admit they saw it. Moments later, the chair in their room suddenly moved on its own, and that's when it hit them. Whatever they sensed in the hallway, it didn't stay there. People online are divided about what exactly was happening here. Whatever was in that hallway was watching them, reacting to them, and eventually stepping into the room with them. So, was it something intelligent, or something that simply didn't want to stay in the hallway anymore? You decide. The following footage was recorded on the first floor of West Hill Manor in Burlington County, a location already known for its long history of strange encounters. According to the group investigating the home that night, every single person was on the 3rd floor when this happened. No one was downstairs, no one was even close. Watch closely. If you look toward the doorway on the right, you'll see it, a strange mist drifting across the frame. And then, just seconds later, a loud bang was heard from the 3rd floor. This is where things get interesting. It almost looks like the mist moves upward, as though whatever it was slipped out of the 1st floor doorway and traveled straight to where the sound happened. Many viewers immediately connected the two events, suggesting that the mist wasn't random environmental interference at all, but an apparition transitioning between floors. Some believe this might be a spirit that's aware of the investigators and is trying to make its presence known by traveling through the house and manipulating its surroundings. But the biggest question remains, was this mist responsible for the bang, or did it go upstairs because of the bang, as though reacting to something else entirely? Either way, the timing is too close to be ignored. Whatever moved through that doorway wasn't supposed to be there, and it definitely wasn't ordinary. I'd love to know what you think about this one.